私は悪、紛れもなく人類の敵。決して偽物ではないのです。素敵なところではありませんの。
There she lies, beneath the stormy and cold clouds on the battlefield. Life was slowly leaving her body, and so she takes her final breath, remembering her last words to the person she honestly loved. 1. Shido, a flawed and twisted executioner of justice, who was actually just a girl wanting to have a good life and ensure the same outcome for everyone she still cared about, was now gone, having died for nothing. All her time and schemes gone to waste. As Mio looks at her one last time before she died away completely, the last thing Kurumi saw was the weirdly gentle smile on Mio's face, knowing she had broken her. Hey there guys, it's me, Hito. Well, what should I say? Their life was breaking my heart with the last 2 episodes. Not only did Kurumi die just like that, but also Kaguya, Yoshino, Muko, and even my all-time favorite, Yuzuru. Mio, you piece of shit! I'm gonna kill you right on the spot! Anyways, today I wanted to talk about my personal feelings about Kurumi's passing specifically. Hear me out, will ya? Let's rewind. When we got introduced to Kurumi, it was clear that the show wanted us to know that this girl is dangerous and mentally unstable. Like, she was beautiful, yes, but was also a murderer of thousands over thousands of people. To be fair, she only fed on abusers, rapists, and all this kind of people, so there was a sense of twisted justice in her actions. But she took lives nonetheless. No matter how you look at it, Kurumi took life dozens of times, to a point she's used to it and not even flinching an eye when killing someone. At first, Kurumi seemed to be an antagonist, a wall Shido needs to overcome in order to save as many people and spirits as possible. But as soon as season 2 rolled around, we could see this wasn't actually the case. We could observe that beneath all this insanity and psychic behavior lies a young girl just wanting to have a normal life. And this, alongside with what has been done to her in the past by Mio, made us care. It made us mad, angry, upset, and sad about her death. Especially what a pathetic death she actually died. But there is more to it than our personal feelings. What I'm going to say now is probably pretty controversial and an unpopular opinion to say, but one aspect of her death can be pointed to: karma. All the things she had done up until this point was going to get back at her eventually. A fact Kurumi herself was well aware of, and also willing to accept once the time comes.
I'm a devil. Nothing more or less than an enemy of humanity.
Her death was destined to happen sooner or later. It was her own divine punishment for crossing the line in matters of taking things in her own hands. Kurumi had the mindset of, if reversing time and killing the origin spirit 30 years ago, everything she did, everything bad that happened to her, to the spirits that followed afterwards, would simply not have taken place. None of it would have ever happened, which was a motivator to keep doing what she's doing, no matter how cruel or morally questionable it was. But there was one big elephant in the room she apparently just didn't want to address. The matter that she would remember it all. She would remember what she did, what happened, and how things turned out in the old world.
Yes, I remember everything. All about the original world. And about origami too.
Through season 3, we do know Kurumi is unaffected by the changes in the flow of history, meaning just effectively changing history doesn't necessarily mean that Zafkiel just disappears from her like that. We all know that time travel and alternate routes in history are a shit ton of complex structures. Origami here is the perfect example. Due to the change of history, her character and personality was altered, but the original Origami personality stayed existing in the new Origami. So even if Kurumi would have been completely altered, there would be always a chance that her crimes and the guilt about them, etc., would catch up to her eventually, which I personally think would lead her to commit to atone for her countless sins, and if not that, probably falling into deep depression and isolating herself from anyone. Like, imagine you were in her position. Even with all the crimes you committed being erased from history, would you be able to look your parents or your closest friends into their eyes? What I'm saying is, Kurumi did wrong things out of the right reasons. She had all reason to go against Mio, to establish a new world, to avenge her best friend, and more. But the universe does not bow to one single individual, no matter how sound the reasoning behind their action is. Her death signaled the end of the line, the end of her long, exhausting journey. It was punishment from above, and she knew that she'll join those she killed with her own hands soon. But I also think that in some way she might have been relieved, or at least that a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. Kurumi knew that no longer was she fighting alone, but Shido will take her place and fight on for her, and fixing everything just fine. That's what I believe Kurumi thought during her final moment. She was able to leave this realm at peace, knowing Shido will avenge her and her best friend. She had a tragic background and even a sadder ending, but even after everything said and done, Kurumi wasn't a psycho mastermind pulling all strings. She was just another pawn in Mio's sick, twisted game. Kurumi Tokisaki, you atoned for your sins. Now fall asleep and rest soundly in memory of Kurumi Tokisaki. Phew. Okay, well, that was hell of a lot, and I really apologize for the slight depressing tone to the video, but I really wanted to talk honestly about her death and not editing so meme-like like I usually do. If you want to, please tell me your opinion on this topic in the comments down below, and till next time.